Well, my father was born here in Evansville, as was my mother, and Second World War came along and he applied for officers candidate school at Annapolis and was accepted. So he became a naval officer coming out of school and was assigned to the light cruiser Birmingham in the Second World War as the radio officer on board the cruiser. And that's how he got interested in the radio business. My mother and father and I lived above the radio station. The building was a pre-Civil War clapboard building. As a child growing up, I had my neighborhood friends, but I also interacted with 20 employees in the basement every day. And I grew up playing radio and hanging out with salespeople and disc jockeys and making tapes. Just played radio, learned how to do engineering work, grew up around the employees in the radio station. When I was a freshman at the University of Evansville, my father and I sat down together and he had explained to me that he'd had some serious health problems, which I was aware of. Didn't know how long he had to live and wanted to know if I wanted to continue in the business. And I told him yes, there was no question about it that I did. So we agreed that I would move to Knoxville and go to the University of Tennessee and work in our FM and our television station and go to college in Knoxville so that I could learn more about the business. I was living in Knoxville after college, had a home in West Knoxville. Walked in from lunch one day and the receptionist said, "John, you better really have your act together now. Evansville's on line 1. I picked up the phone and one of the people up here told me that my father had had a massive heart attack and had passed away behind his desk. And I needed to get back here as soon as possible because I was the largest shareholder in the company at that time. And so I caught a flight immediately back to Evansville and started business the next day here running the company and took over as the president within a week.
For 64 years, WIKY has been the #1 most listened to radio station in the Evansville market, an accomplishment that no one has been able to match. In his 30 years at the helm, John Engelbrecht has grown South Central Communications to include 12 radio stations located in Evansville, Indiana, Knoxville, and Nashville, Tennessee. In the last 2 years, his Nashville radio station, WJXA-FM 92.9, has become the #1 station in that market. John also has Muzak audio and video franchises in Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee, as well as 12 cities in the U.S., including Las Vegas. Even though he has businesses nationwide, he has chosen to keep his corporate offices right here in Evansville, right at the top of the Fifth Third Bank building.
I love Evansville. It's where I grew up. You can make a difference in Evansville. You get to know everybody in Evansville. I know most of the business people here in town. We get along. Many of them have mentored me. I've been able to learn, and I've been given an opportunity to serve in this community that I would not have had an opportunity to serve in a much larger city like a Nashville or a Las Vegas or someplace like that. Well, my son JP had a desk in my office since he was 7. And one Saturday when he was about 12, he turned to me in my office and said, "You know what my favorite thing to do in the whole world is?" And I said, "No, what is that?" And he said, "Watch you work." I said, "Why is that?" He said, "These phone conversations I get to listen in on, and the people coming in and out of your office and the conversations that are going on are fascinating and interesting. And I really enjoy watching you work more than I do anything else." And I thought to myself, this kid wants to do the deal. He's at 12, he's decided he wants to be third generation in this business. And so we set a pathway for that, and we've been on it ever since. And now he's the CEO of the company. What translated from my father in the way of principles and vision have moved through me and into him as well. And he's a very honorable businessman and does a great job.
I'm proud to be part of this legacy. My dad taught me that being in business is an honorable calling. This is the only job I've ever wanted. My father and I are so aligned on our business, philosophical, and charitable pursuits but we always know that it comes back to business. If we create a good business, that's how we make a difference, because we employ people, we're able to give to charities, and we're able to help our hometown of Evansville.
My two heroes in my life are my father and my son. And I've had the opportunity to shepherd the corporation from first into third generation. That's been my gift. The advice I'd give to a young person today is, first of all, being in business is an honorable profession. Find something, a business that interests you. You can find pathways to that in school, through work experience, and through watching other people and having mentors advise you of where to go and what to do. And find a way into that industry and into that business one way or another, even if it's a low-paying position. Get started and get around it, get close to it, and then grow.